Hey there. I wanna encourage you guys today to practice um, practice the transfer of currency. Practice the transfer of currency. Transfer the transfer of energy in the spiritual realm. Now, with whatever interaction you may have, um, keep in mind, I'm not telling you to manipulate a situation to get your way. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is try to interact with another individual in a way where the only thing in your heart throughout the whole interaction, uh, while you're communicating and after the communication has ended, after that individual walks away, whatever agreement you might have came with that individual. I'm trying to encourage you guys to try to practice the transfer of energy in the spiritual realm. How do you do that? Well, you come inside of first pray to the Father to help you, pray to the Spirit to guide you in this process, and have the Father in your heart the whole time. The fact of the matter is that the Father can see your heart at every single second of your life. The Father's aware of every single second. Have that mindset where you know wholeheartedly that you're doing something positive. Now, that's not to say that if there's a red flag on a certain individual, just this was why I'm telling you guys to take it to the Father and ask the Spirit. But in a regular interaction with an individual, any individual that you see fit, try to see only the well being, only the benefit for that individual and not your own out of the situation, right? Try to, uh, sometimes that because of situations and things in the past that we've been through, it makes it difficult. I know this out of my own experience. It makes it difficult for us to open ourselves up uh, to certain things or to give, out of ourselves, out of our time to people, especially when there's like people that we don't really know too well or we haven't known enough, um, and it's and there's a difference between a red flag and a sense of fear. If it's a sense of fear, you got to try to uh, ask the Father for discernment on that, the difference between an actual red flag and fear. These are essentials to navigating the spiritual realm. Um, and when you have that sense of fear, lay it in the Father's hands and calculate, okay, why am I fearful right now if all I'm trying to do is do something positive for this individual and not without a selfish intent whatsoever. Why do I feel right now like I need to reserve myself from um, from fully opening my heart uh, to the process of giving to this individual out of my out of my wholehearted goodness, not expecting anything in return, right? And I want you to experience what it's like to do something positive for somebody without expecting anything in return, and then getting to the point of understanding why giving is better than receiving. Because when you see the fulfillment in somebody else's life that needed something that they couldn't provide for themselves. Remember, I mentioned in that other video, it's a privilege we have. It really is a privilege to be able to give, to tend to a need of another fellow man. It's something that we will not have once we get to heaven, right? So I encourage you today to try to put that in practice, like on a conscious level, like because we do a lot of things on autopilot all day, all day long we do things on autopilot. Um, so if you haven't, or if you already are, encourage you to continue to do that. And I guess this take this as a reminder. If you already do that, take this as a reminder to continue to do that, because that again, I want to get you guys to understand. I think that's the purpose of the Spirit of the Father, is to get you guys to understand what it means to deposit riches in heaven versus depositing riches here on earth. And it's all in the perspective of where your heart is at. So if your heart is in a place of selflessness, you know, it's in a place of actual of true uh, uh, Yah's love, of truly wanting to see another human being being fulfilled, uh, for the Father's glory, and be pointed in the right direction towards His kingdom. So like some folks, like the Father, in my younger years, the Father had put certain individuals in my life, and they were a blessing to me, in a way that I didn't quite understand right at first. And it usually came in the uh, uh, as older folks. I had neighbors, and I would hang out with them, older, like in their 60s, just like older dudes. And there would be when I lived in a lot of apartment complexes and buildings when I was a kid. And in the summer, we would have a lot of free time as a kid, and my mother, my caretaker at the time, they knew, everybody, pretty much in the area. And I would hang out in the porch, and just and the certain this old dude, he would tell me his stories from when he was younger, I would share my time with this individual. He didn't have really much family coming over too often, and I would spend time. He really enjoyed my company, just as another person to hang out, And I'm in my teens, like early teens, and I had never, I always knew that I was giving, but I didn't understand. I didn't understand why that was important, but I just knew that it was, And down the line, I came to comprehend, uh, that I I made that person's life a little more pleasant in the years that they couldn't, through their certain infirmities, and just getting old, and not being able to do things that they used to do when they were younger and stuff like that. I gave a little bit more, um, a joy, in those people's hearts, because of just of me being there, and that and other stories that I have shared on this channel. It's just I just want to encourage you guys to do a selfless act today, wholeheartedly. Do an act for another person, that whenever, not today, this week, whenever, right? Do an act for another person, wholeheartedly knowing that you don't expect anything in return for this person, so that they may be fulfilled in a thing that they are not fully capable or to do for themselves, or you know and make sure that they understand that it's the Father, that it's the Father doing that for them, that it's the Father, the one that puts that in your heart, you know. And then you will reap in the spirit, you will reap the the benefits, the riches of heaven. So I yeah, just wanted to just drop that little nugget there today. So bless you guys and catch you on the next one.